seen 4 of the 8 episodes. I'm very curious where this is going to go. What is it like being one of the things I enjoy is when I can't predict where things are going to go. And one of the things about this show is you really don't know whose side who is on. So how much were you told when you signed on your full arc, and how much were you actually finding out script by script?
I think we had like a chunk of scripts that we had to begin with. I forget exactly how many, but then after that they would travel out as we went, and we then did have to wait for quite a long time to hear to read the final episode and to see the resolution. So I think we knew, at least speaking for myself, everything that I needed to know about the character to approach, each episode without knowing all the turns along the way. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anything, and it's what the character is too, so it's like to not know what's going to happen, and so. It was more of a just who you work with, is like for me, like looking at the show, like I wanted to work with the people in the show. So I didn't demand to know what's going to happen to Edward. Yeah.
Same here, man. I just thought it was an interesting character, and we're just lucky to be able to play in it,
Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I just assumed like bad stuff would happen to my character, like
Yeah.
like just make him really uncomfortable.
I am curious, how have you been describing the show to your friends and family?
It's all about this FBI agent who centers on Joe Madi.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thriller. It's action packed. It's smart and funny, and there are great characters. I would say I describe it as something that you got to pay close attention, pick up all the hints, and it'll keep you on the edge of your seat.
I always tell friends and family, don't watch it because of me. It's like a good show, and it is, like just, it's when I read the script the first time, you rip through it, and I want to know what happens next. I saw the cut of the first 4 episodes. I wanted to keep on watching it, and I know what happens, but do I?
I don't think I've actually explained the show to my friends. That was the question, right?
I know, totally.
Yeah. It was just that they were all just like, oh, cool, you're going to Canada to shoot something. I don't think I've ever told them about the show.
I have some actor friends that are in the same. That's a whole nother thing. Let me ask you a different thing.
Okay.
So this series is about private espionage, and how much do you think of what's being depicted in the series is actually happening in the real world?
I think honestly a lot. I think some of the big concepts are definitely the same, but they were put in different words, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's there's plenty of like more than one would want to know. I think or if you want to know, it's just kind of disheartening. I think, especially someone like myself that identify with the sheeple, as they call it. Like I don't like being manipulated.
Yeah.
I like what they're presenting, like on these apps. Like, oh, I really like that sweatshirt. So they're doing it well,
right? Next
like
14
targeting
ads
like what you like.
Sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, I think the main thing is that we're all being manipulated without realizing it by what is being presented to us. It's scary, but I think it's true.
Yeah. I think it's always been happening, probably.
But I think it's much more sophisticated now, like with the data collection and the computers and the interconnectedness of the world. It's like it's so sophisticated what the information that they can have about you and it's very daunting to think about, and it kind of makes you want to go out into the woods and put your phone in a lead box or something. But
I think that if you use a credit card, you're effed. That just tells everyone everything.
I don't
about
have
you.
a credit card, actually.
You're copying Kiefer's character.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Oh, no, that's because I'm European, right? And we don't have credit cards. So.
You don't have
He just
credit.
has a hard roll of cash.
Exactly. He just
We hide our money in the woods.
For soon-to-be fans of the series, what do you think they would be surprised to learn about the actual making of the show?
Actual making of the show. Well, I'm still always blown away when I see things that are supposed to take place in, like, say, New York.
Oh yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah, I did. It was
You know,
really
like
fun
that-
to see the New York substitution. It's a pretty good one.
It's incredible. It's like, oh, that subway stop doesn't go anywhere. You know, the stairs don't descend.
You know, our subway stop on the streets of Toronto, but it's
I actually wondered that when I saw that, and I'm like, I know this isn't New York, but this does look very much like they're in New York. I'm like, it's good production design.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it
I
was,
think
yeah.
that successfully looks like New York for sure.
I definitely want to know, one of the things about nowadays, there's a lot of television and a lot of options. And I'm just curious for people that will be watching this interview, what do you want to tell people like about why they should watch this show over, say, something else?
Well, it's a fun ride and an exciting show, but it's also a smart show. So if you like to watch something where you have to be engaged and pay attention and you can pick up on the hints and you can, come up with theories, but then know your theories will be thrown out of the window and, come up with new theories. If you're into that kind of engagement with a show, then I think this is the show for you.
Kiefer is someone who I have grown up watching. I'm a big fan. He's also a super nice guy. Mm-hmm. So for all three of you, can you just talk about working with him and maybe what surprised you about working with Kiefer?
We said earlier that he's a rock star. As in,
Legit, he really is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Rob said that.
Figuratively and literally a rock star.
I remember you said to me one of the first days shooting, he came up to you or something, and you were like, "Wow, he's a rock star." Can't you remember that?
I say so many things that just like escape. He was. I mean, he's just incredibly generous, and he really is there for fellow actors. A lot of times you're on set, you don't really hear any feedback or anything, but he was just like extremely generous about saying, hey, going out his way, saying that you rock, or that was great, and just things you don't have to do, but as when it happens, it's like really appreciated. So I think
for sure, very generous. And if you're going to do this kind of thriller action show and you get to do it with Kiefer, I mean, it's like working with the master of this genre. And so I think we all felt really lucky to be on the set with him.
On that note, I need to wrap. I'm just going to say I hope it's a huge hit for you guys.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you more tomorrow.